Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and this morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Routledge, who publish textbooks and quite important books in all the main legal fields. This one is dealing with a particular handbook they've published, which they've sent to us for review. It's called the Routledge Handbook of Family Law and Policy. That book there, we'll have a look at it in a minute. It's part of the Routledge Handbook series, and it's been edited by John Eekelaar and Rob George. Now we'll have a little look at it. We've done reviews which are on the web and in the journals. That's the actual book there. You can see it's a hardback. That's the spine, and then you've got the back of the book there. It's actually an e-book too. There isn't any form of companion website with this, which they have with a number of their textbooks, but they do actually have it in an e-book series. You can see at the back there's a short index. It's not a particularly long index at all, but what you do have is a structure. There are lots and lots of footnotes, copious footnotes throughout, lots of actual headlines, subheads and so forth. There's no numbering in terms of paragraph numbering at the sides, but you can see how the chapters are structured in that particular example there. This is obviously a collaboration of a very wide range of people. It sets out here what the Routledge Handbook is all about, which you can see. It sets out the basic aim, then you've got the front page there, and then you've got the contents in various parts. I'll just run through those so you can see what's in it. Parts 1 and 2, parts 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then part 7 now on globalisation. Then you have the contributors, and a very large number of them, because this is an erudite work. You can see how many there are. It's a huge number. I can't go unfortunately through all of them, but you can see the very large number of people who have been involved in producing this leading work. Do read the preface by the two authors, which is well worth having a look at. And as I say, the part 1 starts with marriage. It obviously follows a logical structure, and then you can see, as I say, right from the beginning, they kick off with a large amount of footnoting throughout. It's a heavy book, runs to something like just under 500 pages. But it's a very useful book for any of you who are involved in family law matters, as I am. Now, we've given it a title. Elizabeth and I have written this review, and we've given it the title Policy Challenges Facing Family Law, a Global Perspective, because we are in the global era now, where everything is not confined. It's much wider than that. Obviously, family law and policy is one of those areas that does affect a wide range of people throughout the whole of the globe, and obviously different jurisdictions come in, so it's an important book for us to have a look at for the 21st century. This is what we've said. We said international lawyers and comparative lawyers, as well as specialist family lawyers, will find this recent publication from Routledge a compelling read. The editors, who are John Eekelaar and Rob George, have assembled a formidable selection of carefully researched and closely argued viewpoints on family law policy from no less than 44 expert contributors from a range of jurisdictions worldwide, as I indicated earlier. The editors, who are both from Oxford University, explain that the handbook is about both family law and policy, adding that the crucial linkage between the two determines the orientation of all the contributors and contributions. Certainly the handbook reveals important differences as well as similarities in family law policy across a number of different jurisdictions worldwide, some common law jurisdictions and of course others not. How do they do this in other countries is the pivotal question, which in our view is successfully addressed in this book. The essays are grouped into 6 categories or parts, ranging from marriage and alternative relationships to parenting, child welfare, and then with the last section it's on globalisation and pluralism. This final category we think is particularly interesting in view of the personal, social and legal problems generated within culturally diverse groups in societies designated as multicultural. One of the several issues addressed in the book is the role of the state in supporting families and protecting the vulnerable, which would include women, children and minorities. Malia Malik's article, for example, warns that, quote, lack of access to mainstream legal justice or the failure of the mainstream legal system to accommodate minorities may drive users towards minority legal orders without the protections available within state law. I think we know what she's referring to here, and we can all think of instances where unfortunate situations of this nature have occurred and are likely to occur again. The rights of the vulnerable are also discussed in Rosemary Hunter's article, Domestic Violence, a UK Perspective, which brings together in detailed yet succinct form a number of insights and comments on domestic violence, mainly in England and Wales, and its impact, for example, on contact orders and other domestic situations which come before the courts. Other issues, of course, come in for scrutiny as well. Those include sexual orientation and gender, the status of marriage itself, divorce and separation, assisted conception, and of special interest to many a family law in the UK, the movement of family members between jurisdictions. Let me conclude by saying that researchers and those seeking additional sources of information will appreciate, we think, the copious footnoting which I've indicated, which is in each chapter, and it provides almost innumerable references for further reading. So there's a very scholastic element, an academic element here. Family practitioners wishing to keep up with cross-border commentary, research and shades of opinion on family law issues should get a copy of this book in our view, because it really is a very useful book for those involved in the family jurisdiction but who have an interest. As I said, you can see again from the back how detailed a lot of the information is. It's set out in a slightly different way from the way we've presented it, but just opening any page, I'm looking at child welfare and child protection policy in England. It's a big area because it's children public law areas of activity here. Obviously care is a particular problem, and it's also important in the problems that we have at the moment dealing with the deficit and the financial problems of the country. You can see again, that just gives you a standard idea of the text itself, main body text, and of course a lot of copious notes. In some ways it's not quite as easy to read as some of the paragraph numbering type of books you get, but again it depends on what you want. It's a heavy book, but it's a very important one. So thank you to the editors and all the contributors, and thank you to Routledge for an excellent publication in this family law jurisprudence. Bye bye.